Worth it every time, every time. I love it. Hey everybody, it's Mark Shepard, Healing Pastures. I call it the farm church because for me it's a spiritual practice to grow my own food, to grow food for other people in a way that heals the planet instead of destroys it. That it's a spiritual mission. Regenerative, rotational, adaptive, multi-pasture grazing. Minimal inputs, that's my whole deal. But we have just come through probably the most intense time of the year, which is lambing and moving the ewes and the babies to a solar site. All right, you guys ready? Let them off. You gotta let them off. Come on. I have a second group of ewes that is still in one of Joel Howie's orchards. So according to Joel Howie, we have 10 lambs. It's kind of hard in the tall grass to tell. But if he says we have 10 lambs, I believe him. Because he knows how to count, unlike me. And I have a third group, which is a very small group of rams, which is in a different orchard. No, you're not getting back in. Get to work. I want this mowed. I want this mowed by tomorrow. So get to work. But we are transitioning now from the orchards back to the solar sites. And it was an actually fairly mellow week. There were no big moves, just from one pasture to the other. And of course, I tried to videotape it, but I forgot to push record, so I don't have great footage this week. But the lammies made the transition from living in my house to living with the sheep out on the solar pastures. You ready for some lamb juice? Huh? All right. Where's your sister? She's over there. Let me feed you. I found some people who live next door to the solar site who are coming in and feeding the lambs in the mornings and in the evenings, so that took a lot of pressure off of me because I was wearing out. I can go only so far, day in and day out, and day in and out, and just I needed a little break. So there's not a whole lot of excitement this week, which I'm grateful for. Sometimes quiet, calm, stillness is the antidote to quote-unquote civilization. They used to have a commercial for Club Med. Club Med, the antidote to civilization. So, whoa, this is interesting. Look at this. The grass is all flattened out here. Was that a rainstorm or did a bunch of deer bed down here? I don't know. I think it must have been the rain. That's weird. Anyway, I'm just kind of recovering. I'm in recovery mode from the whole lambing and moving the lambs and their moms was, I'd never moved 30 lambs before, so there was a lot of new stuff for me. And at the moment it's going well. I have a little intense day coming up on Tuesday, which is there's some people from the Cornell Extension, Cooperative Extension, who are coming to, they're doing a study. They're going to take fecal samples from my new ewes, which are behind Joel Howie's house, and my main flock, which is in Ogdensburg. So we have to Monday we have to set up the sheep handling system at Joel's. They're coming at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and they'll take fecal samples, and we'll also treat those ewes. A couple of them have bad feet, so we have to see what's going on with their feet. And then we're gonna break it all down, throw it on the trailer, drive out to Ogdensburg, set it up, and do the same thing with my ewes. So it's gonna be a little intense, but I think it'll work out, because evidently they have 5 people coming, and they're all sheep people, so it should work. So that's it. It's just kind of a chill week, and I needed it. So, and I miss the lambs. I miss having them at my house, and I don't miss them either, because it's nice to come home and not have a bunch of other stuff to do other than take care of my dad. So yeah, and we're working on getting some help in the house for my dad, for my dad. So it's a hopefully a positive week, a mellow week, and we've had some rain, but not too much. So I'm just kind of sitting here in an attitude of gratitude, just feeling like, okay, we can take a little respite, a little rest, and then get back at it. So the song this week is Rain, which is finally done. I think as much as anything is done. So we're gonna have a song, and it features an old friend of mine, Vince Caiafa, who was one of my first students of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Processing. Yeah, I'm proud of him. He's done a great job. He's created his own career as the pro drummer, and he is a pro. He's really good, and it was just a blast working with him. So I'm also, as I go forward, I'm gonna try to collaborate more with other musicians. This is not so much the music season though, because I'm really busy, and now we're starting to mow. We have to mow some of the solar sites until we get scaled up with the sheep. We're still gonna have to do some mechanical mowing, because our main job is the vegetation management. We have to keep the vegetation off of the solar panels. That's our main job. And the solar companies, many of them don't care if we do it with sheep or mowers. The sheep thing is kind of a little PR thing for them, so they can look good. But some of the solar companies are actually seriously committed to the sheep. So it's kind of cool to see which ones walk their talk and which ones are just, we do this, it's good for the community, yeah, whatever, yeah. But for me, the solar grazing has absolutely changed my life. So I'm deeply grateful. So I guess this week, the Sunday message is gratitude. And it never hurts to just sit down and count your blessings. Sometimes it's easier to count your blessings than it is to count sheep. I still have trouble counting sheep, but it's all good. All right, folks, here's the song. Enjoy it. My thoughts are with you, sending out just hope, prayers, light, love, peace, love, and grooviness. Just send it out and receive it back. Sending it out and receiving it back. All right, here's the song. Boom.
And climb up to them. Start right now. Rain, rain, rain. then live them out as if they are true. Every dead end is a new way out. Dare to break through. Rain, rain, rain. Rain, rain, rain. Rain, rain, rain. Rain, rain, rain.
So hey, thanks for listening to the song. I will see you next week, and whew, away we go. The summer's commenced. We're headed down towards the solstice. We've had beautiful weather, and finally, and the grass is growing gangbusters, and we can't keep up with it now. So it's time to mow, time to graze, time to move the sheep every 4 days and mow. And eventually, we'll be putting the new ewes with the main flock, and the boys are going to be going to freezer camp, and so we'll be down to one flock again, which will be nice. And then we have to separate out the baby boys from the girls, and on we go. The sheep year continues. Peace, love, grooviness, over and out. Boom. Amen. Lammy. Lammy. Oh, don't go to the road. Lammy. Come on, you climb up. It's a lot of fun. Everything's beautiful.
Oh God, no, he's going crazy.
Everything's beautiful. Everything's beautiful.
Boy, he really is kicking in.
Everything is beautiful. So according to Joel Howie, we have 10 lambs. It's kind of hard in the tall grass to tell. But if he says we have 10 lambs, I believe him. Because he knows how to count, unlike me. Hi, Mama. He said one of them had triplets. Ooh, we have a nice little stripe. We have a little stripe. Look at that. So this is Joel's home orchard. He planted it, I guess, 10 years ago. And it's just really starting to bear fruit, as they say. It's beautiful. And then he has the field beyond, which is too wet for apple trees, but it's dry now. So we're hoping to get the cows in here, not into the orchard, but down there, and get some animal impact and move them across that landscape, eating and pooping and peeing, and hopefully we will improve it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to bother these girls. They just got a new area today, and I think they're pleased. It's really nice. They can hide their lambs so easily in the tall grass. It's kind of cool. All right, so I got the ducklings. Of course, I left a mess, which I always do, but I got the ducklings out of their tub, and I don't think they're gonna squeeze through those little squares. And they're chowing down. Hopefully they can get a meal before the chipmunks and the English sparrows steal their food. And you can kind of tell their feathers are starting to turn white. That's pretty cool. I really like ducks. And I like sheep. I don't like cows, I don't like pigs. And I like nature, and I can't wait to set up their kiddie pool. I got 2 kiddie pools over here. Set them up so they can swim. That's their next thing, but I have to, since they're little, I have to figure out a way to give them access in and out of the pool. That was so beautiful. All right, we're at Royal J Solar, and the sheep have been here for 3 days, and it's a bit of a smaller area than I gave them last week. And we have this little beautiful stand of stinging nettle, which supposedly is one of the most nutritious plants on the planet, and they have not eaten, as far as I can tell, any of it, which is fine. Sometimes they eat it, sometimes they don't. Like, it looks like somebody tasted it down there, but maybe a little of it goes a long way. It's highly medicinal. So I will probably move them tomorrow. It's supposed to rain, but I think they have enough food in here for another couple of days. They've definitely nailed a lot of this. It's hard to tell on a 2-dimensional picture, but there's a lot of trampling, which is good as well. That also protects the ground, keeps the moisture in the ground. And I try to take a look at the fence and make sure nobody's stuck in it, and that it hasn't been knocked down, and it looks okay. But the lambs are really packing it on. Look at this guy right here, and that's a boy right here. Of course, they get between me. They put their mom between me and them. But these lambs are, look at these boys. They are chunked up. Look at the size of that one. That one's a girl. This one here, right there, here's a boy. You see future ram potential? I don't know. Keeping an eye on it. And but he looks good. He's looking good. So, all right, time to go home. And here's the area I just moved the sheep into. And here's the area they've been in for 4 days. So let's get try to get the difference. 4 days. And I probably could have left them in there for 5 more days. But I want to keep them ahead of parasites, so that's the goal. And I thought I was filming the move, but I didn't press record. So anyway, we'll see sheep here. They'll wander over here later, but I'm just checking all the connections. All right, so We got to take this off and connect it with that. This is exactly what I want to see. I want to see my sheep eating several feet up in the air. And I don't want to see any snails on the tips of those plants. That's what I'm seeing, so that's good. Their body condition is looking pretty good under their shedding. I mean, she's feeding babies, so she's looking okay. The grass is so high, the moms and the lambs can't find each other, so they're calling to each other. It's kind of cool. Are you done? Are you done, Lammy? I think Lammy's had a nice snack. There you go. All right. What are you doing, baby? She's grown so much. She's been here a week now, I think. No, it was Tuesday, so she hasn't yet been here a week. What a good girl. You gonna chew on my fanny pack? Huh? She's my good girl. Huh? You want more? I got more right here. But you have to actually put it in your mouth. What are you doing? No? Okay. All right. That just rubbed you. She's a good girl. So here I am in an ugly solar farm. The neighbors hate them because they're so ugly. But the ground is covered with life-supporting plants. And there's shade. And there's a perimeter fence. And even the possibility of supporting myself doing something I love doing that actually makes a positive difference in the world.